Where do we want to start today, boys?
We have a long list of interesting topics.
We do.
I think we start UFC
Okay.
just because it's fresh and it's somewhat new. Because I think the conversation that we have every week around hockey is just Leaf centric,
Pretty similar.
and it's really the same
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the A
This
Sports
week we do have a new
podcast.
twist, though.
We do.
But yeah, carry on.
It's a very different
Carry
team
on,
this
carry
week
on.
than it's been in the past weeks. But
This is the A Sports podcast. My name's Amir. That's Brant, and that's Morrow.
Hey, how are you?
There we go. Okay, so UFC 261 was last night. Masvidal headlined by Masvidal versus Usman, the rematch from last July, was it that they fought last?
something like
And I was talking with my dad on the couch like before the fight, and I was thinking, for some reason, Masvidal was, I think he was plus 250 to win, but he was like plus 400 to win via knockout, and I'm like, well, if you're gonna bet Masvidal, the only way you bet this fight
he's only
is
winning
by
on knockout. Yeah, he's not taking this in decision, or he's not going the distance. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, well, if you're gonna bet Masvidal, that's easy money.
yeah,
But if you were gonna bet Usman,
that's
It was
also easy money,
decision.
regardless of what it is.
it was decision,
Yeah,
and then you could say, I don't know, submission or like TKO. No
Knockout
one thought
wasn't really-
knockout. No,
not
no.
that clean either. That was a shot.
clean. It was.
He's never been
Beautiful.
knocked out in his entire professional career. Jorge
Yeah,
Masvidal.
that's
the first time.
The second time that he's gotten
wow.
to go to. Well, he's gotten a fight stopped at all, and I think it
Yeah.
was a choke in the other situation. Like,
Yeah, first time he's ever been knocked
wild.
out in his professional career. That's wild.
Wow.
and for
No.
a journeyman, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. He's fought a lot.
He's what, 36?
30. He's old.
He's
He's fought like
Yeah,
38
like that was-
something fights or something.
He's a piece of shit. Who cares?
Yeah.
Can I? Am I wrong in saying this is the least deserved rematch we've seen in a long time?
So
Like what in that first fight made you think, yeah, Masvidal's got a chance?
the fact that he cut weight on 6 days' notice is pretty incredible. Is cutting
Yeah.
20 pounds, and that he went a full 5 rounds with them, even though they weren't competitive rounds.
He didn't
necessarily.
really do anything to him though. Like he just wrestled them and put him against the cage and stomped on his
Right.
feet a bunch of times. Like he
So
just
then-
had no control in that fight.
Well, he had no gas tank in that fight either. Like you
Maybe.
could totally argue that.
Sure.
Which like
I wouldn't
you could
say you're right per se, but I guess you could make that argument in theory.
And also like, so you have that side of the argument, the fact
Right.
that his energy was just totally zapped from the weight cut. But
Yeah.
then if you look at it from the standpoint of Usman was the one that called him out when the champs fought everyone
Sure.
basically already.
He's got no one left.
He's got no one left, and Masvidal is still the biggest fight from a money perspective. And it just made sense. I mean,
Colby might be in terms of cash. Like I
in
think that's
terms
a
of-
personally, I'd rather see another Colby fight before I saw another Masvidal fight. And they're both shitbag human beings. I don't like either one of them, but like in terms of which one I'd rather see go into that fight, I think
So-
I'd rather see that rematch.
So if you're the UFC in this situation, though, you want to keep as many situations as alive as possible, right? In terms
Right.
of future matchmaking.
Yeah.
Usman's toughest fight will always be Colby Covington because he has the threat to wrestle and he's got the cardio that can match Usman. That we saw obviously in the first fight and how long that fight actually ended up going.
Yeah.
The difference is if you're the UFC and you're thinking, well, I'm trying to get out with Usman and Covington still down the line and create as many big fights as possible.
Right.
And that you get that by going because you believe based off of everything that you saw in the first fight that Kamaru Usman would win, and he was like what, a minus 350 favorite, I think I saw last night. So I mean, he was a heavy favorite, but also you had a situation to where Jorge Masvidal has the touch of God in that right hand, and he could change
There's a
any
chance.
fight.
Yeah, there's a chance he
Exactly.
knocks you out. Like he's got some dynamite in his hands, but like he just never gets a chance. Like even in that first fight, he never really had a chance to show his punching power because like Usman just dominated him wrestling wise.
He had a chance in the first round. Some people had Masvidal winning the first round, and then from there, he had no gas tank. And so I think people were holding out for that it was possible that they could obviously with a full training camp, with having a regular gas tank, that would be able to change. It didn't, but
No.
you know, the actual fight itself, like, it started off super competitive. Like,
Yeah. Masvidal landed 2 knees that were like lethal on Usman. I'm like, oh, he's got a chance here.
The fact that like Masvidal has just like mastered that flying knee is incredible.
Yeah,
that like
twice did it to him twice, and Usman didn't even pick up on it. Like that's wild.
No, like, and then you think of that, and then there was another time where he goes for it, and Usman just picks him up and takes him and throws him on the ground for a takedown. That was incredible. I was like, how strong do you have to be able to do that? But then even when Usman had the takedown and he was fighting from on top, Masvidal was landing some big elbows on Usman's head. Like, Usman wasn't.
I was gonna say.
I felt like
it wasn't as dominant as it was last time.
No, it wasn't. And like, I think the first round, it was clear it was to Usman, but it wasn't like a 10-8 in any situation.
No.
Like, because Masvidal was doing work from the ground, even though he didn't have position. So like, and then coming out, like, when they stand back up near towards the end of the first round, Usman's looking a little lackadaisical. Like, he's looking a little confused and stuff. Like, he's just looking sloppy. I'm like, is he gassed out already? Like, I'm confused, because that's the one thing of Usman's game that's better than basically anyone save Colby Covington. Like, and so everything that looks so good about Usman in his last, like, 3 or 4 fights of his gas tank looked bad for a second there, and then coming out for the second round.
Right.
Like,
that was it. That was it. That was the end.
Right towards the end, like, he was kind of just throwing haymakers, and he was missing. Like, right towards the end.
Of the first round?
To that point. Yeah. Just before the end of the first.
Yeah, it looked super sloppy.
It was bad.
It looked really sloppy.
He didn't look good. But then that second round just wasn't even close. And it was kind of exactly what the fight... It wasn't so much the ending you thought it was going to be, but it was the fight you thought it was going to be, in the fact that Kamaru just... He's too much for Jorge Masvidal. Like, he's just a night and day a better fighter than what Jorge Masvidal is. Masvidal's got some really cool things on his belt right now. Like, yes, he has the quickest knockout in UFC history, and he's got that baddest motherfucker title that he kind of won against Nate. And yeah, they were cool, but like, he's not on the same level as Kamaru Usman. He'll never be on the same level of Kamaru Usman. He never has been.
No. And the scary thing is about Kamaru is he's getting better. And that's scary when you're getting better and you're already at the top and you're now lapping guys and you're facing guys again. Because the Colby Covington fight's the next fight that the UFC is making. Dana said it yesterday. He's doing that. And then he's going to fight either Nate Diaz or not Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz.
Okay.
Or no. Nate Diaz.
Nate makes more sense.
Leon. Yeah, Nate or Leon, whoever wins that fight. So like, he's got all his fights already lined up. And it's wild to see.
There's only one fight that I'd be interested to see around him, and he'd have to go up to do it. I don't think he'd ever do it. But watching him go up to fight Izzy would be the only thing I want to see.
And they would never do that.
No.
Because they've said it before. They don't want to take a title from Africa and like another champion, so they would never do that.
Yeah.
So that would never happen. But I think it's interesting what Dana White said yesterday with he said, if I don't understand that people say that Usman's a boring fighter, like he was like, I'm paraphrasing here. He's like, I genuinely don't get it. But like Brant, look at his last, which one of his fights, the Masvidal fight last year, was
it sucked.
It wasn't.
It sucked.
But it wasn't a listen.
It was a technically great fight.
Exactly. Like,
but in terms of like, if I'm trying to sell fights, I can't sell that to anyone.
But what else can you sell? Knockout of Jorge Masvidal, knockout of Gilbert Burns, knockout of Colby Covington.
Colby Covington one was
domination.
The Colby Covington one was one of the better fights I've seen in the past 5 years.
I mean, Dana White called it one of the greatest fights he's ever seen. So the bar is set for the rematch. But Dana was like heaping all this praise because Dana hasn't always been a fan of Kamaru Usman, because Usman said basically that he'd give 30% for a fight once or something. So he wasn't a fan of Usman saying that. But now, like, he's saying he's on track to being one of the greatest ever, if not the greatest. And he's not wrong from the standpoint of if he does what he does and defends it against everyone again a second time, that is wildly
it's a lot more impressive than what Khabib did in his run. And like, yes, Khabib went undefeated, but like the fact is that he didn't really go through everybody as the champ that many times.
Fair.
Usman's doing it, and he's just going through everyone. I wouldn't say he's in a very competitive division right now. Like, there's not a lot of names in that division.
I disagree. I think welterweight's a sick division.
Compared to some of them, man, like there's not a lot of names in there that I'm looking at like, ooh.
I think it's better than light heavyweight than what Jon Jones.
Oh, I'm not saying it's the worst division.
I'm just saying it's not good division.
It's not stupid competitive like some others.
I would strongly disagree. What do you think about the claim that Usman's saying he's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the UFC? Because I agree. I think he is right now.
UFC still has Jon Jones listed, and that guy hasn't fought in forever.
Exactly. So that's the entire claim. Like,
as of right now, I am one of Jon Jones's biggest supporters in terms of like best pound-for-pound ever. But the guy hasn't fought in so long. It's like you can't call yourself that until you fight again. He didn't look good in his last fight.
He did in the last two, and he's not even fighting in the same division anymore.
And I understand it's different reasoning. Like, Dana's not paying him, which I get it. But, like, until you fight again, man, like, there's nothing there that, I don't know.
So you agree he's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter?
As it currently sits, yeah. I think.
Like, he's #2. Like, I don't get it. How long has Jon Jones been out that, like, he's still...
January 2020 was the last time he fought.
Yeah, it's fine.
So he hasn't fought in over like 14 months.
No,
he still has eligibility.
Jones?
How does that work?
Yeah.
Jones was January 2020?
That's what I said. Yeah.
I thought it was before that, no?
Let me look it up.
I may be wrong.
Because it was the Dominic Reyes fight. Maybe it's July.
I'm pretty sure it was before that. He didn't fight all through quarantine.
When's 2/3?
Even on the heavyweight.
February 8th, 2020. February 8th, 2020. Which is
still
shocking.
months.
Oh, I guess that was the beginning. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah,
and like but the last two fights, because Santos was a split decision, and then Dominic Reyes, that should have been a loss.
Should have lost.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the only other guy that I think had a chance would have been Izzy. That loss.
If Izzy got the double champ, then he's no doubt the #1 pound-for-pound.
Yeah.
Where do you guys want to take this conversation from here?
I'm kind of done talking about Usman in general, but like the sport right now, it's fun. But it's run by an absolute fucking clown. In Dana White that nobody really wants to talk about as a fighter. It's not. There's like 2 or 3 guys that talk about the fact that Dana White's the cheapest prick on the planet and doesn't pay anyone what they're worth. Which I get it. You don't want to talk shit about your boss, but you got the biggest dickhead in the world in Jake Paul, who came out and he's going to bat for the UFC. Which, you know what? I hate Jake Paul with a passion, but Jake Paul came out and said like the most truest thing that ever helped a human being in his life today. And I don't know if you guys saw his whole like statement he put out on Twitter. I have it, but
Jake Paul's? Yeah. I saw it, but you can read it if you want.
So basically he goes, Dana, you claimed you bet $1 million on me losing, set up Askren to train with Freddie Roach, gave him full access to UFC PI, and he still got his ass handed to him. Seems like you're the real douche, not Ariel. I'm assuming he's talking about Helwani.
Yeah.
In my third fight, I made more in total pay than any fighter in UFC history. Maybe it's time to pay your fighters their fair share. No wonder no wonder they all want to get into boxing. Dana, you say you make the fights the fans want to see, so hurry up and make Jones and Ngannou. Pay them their fair share, 10 million purse for each guy plus pay-per-view. Why are UFC fighters so underpaid versus boxers? Why did I make more in my third fight than all but 2 Khabib and Conor UFC fighters have in history? And he goes, I know why. I mean, like, I hate the kid. I think he's an idiot. Also a brilliant business move in everything he's done right now, and he's right. Like, how is Jake Paul, a YouTuber, making more than everybody in UFC history right now, except for 2 guys?
So Dana went in his press conference, which is what led to the comments from Jake Paul, and basically said all those numbers are full of shit.
Which ones?
The numbers about how much they made, the pay-per-view buys,
like
and
Jake?
all that. Yeah. To which
I'm sure he said
probably.
that. I'm sure he said that. Because it's on him now. Like, the people, like, the fighters won't talk about it, but people have mentioned the fact that he doesn't pay his people. And, like, he doesn't give them what he's worth. So, like, he's going to go and say, he's lying to you.
Did you know how much Jon Jones asked for the Francis Ngannou fight? Did you hear that?
No, what was it?
How much do you think?
It's got to be in the 10 range, no?
30.
Damn. I mean, fuck, what does it bring in, though?
But did you hear how much Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury apparently are going to make combined?
No.
150.
Oh, so this is, yeah.
No, but like, you know what but boxing's different, right? It's still bigger.
It still makes more money.
Boxing is still bigger. Yeah, exactly.
But like, it's not that far at this point that you can't be paying guys extreme numbers.
The UFC probably makes more money than, like the percentage wise, the UFC is cutting the legs of their guys out from underneath them by just giving them less money as a whole. No, I agree with that.
In terms of pay-per-view buys, they make up like the majority of the top 10. The only fights that are above most UFC fights are like Mayweather, Pacquiao, Mayweather versus McGregor is 2, and then Mayweather, and then it's just all UFC events around that. So it's like, you can't tell me they're not bringing in money. Like, I don't know.
It's just the profit share going towards the players themselves.
It just doesn't. It goes to Dana's pockets, who does absolutely nothing in the sport. He has the easiest job on the planet, and he put no money towards the actual thing. Like, he had other people come in and invest, and he's just a face. The guy does nothing other than put fights together and just stand there and act like you're a tough guy. And he's taking all the profits out of this. It's like, you could literally cut him out of the situation and just have Joe Blow just setting up fights, and it would run the same, and fighters would get paid what they're worth. It's a joke.
You're talking about a UFC Super League?
Yeah, they should do a UFC Super League. Exactly. It's ridiculous. I can't stand that man for what he's doing to fighters. He's also just a shitbag human being, so it's...
I look at it across this entire, like, combat sport. Like, there's NXT now that's combating and, you know, going head-to-head with the WWE.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's so many of these head-to-heads now. Like, honestly, if players did feel genuinely, like, hard done by Dana and how much of the profit sharing he's cutting out of their... like whatever the cut split is, like there could definitely be a case where
down the line something happens. Yeah,
like a third party that could definitely be like.
Well, that was the whole thing with Jon Jones, right? Like he's like, let me out of my contract. I'll go somewhere else. Like even though you don't make as much at the time, leaving the UFC because of the brand that it is, but like who knows? If you start your own thing,
a lot of the people that have left are happier once they've left because they're getting what they're worth. If his issue is like making money, why do you have 17,000 fights a night on your cards when nobody watches the early prelims? Like there's no point. Like I understand you got to bring fighters up and whatnot, but like you have so many fights that no one watches, and you're paying those guys. Save money there. Like don't save money just like not paying guys for what they're worth, because then you lose the big names. I would rather keep the big names in the sport. So
apparently, like they want to have Fight Island is still going to be a thing. And like I was just thinking in my head, like it'd be pretty cool if you had like all the undercard fights and stuff there, and like you built it up like that, and you did it like how they do the Ultimate Fighter and stuff like out there. That would be cool. But I can't watch people bash their fucking heads in all day like in a UFC fight. Forget the prelims and then what the prelims and then what's happening.
The early prelims, the prelims, and the undercard and the main card.
Yeah, like what the fuck are we doing here?
It's fucked.
I can't even watch all 5 fights on the main card. Thank God I didn't see in real time the Chris Weidman leg snap, because oh my god, that shit is disgusting.
Yeah. I saw the replay on that one. That was pretty fucking ugly.
Yeah, no thanks.
Was it Weidman that did it?
Yeah,
it was Weidman, because wasn't it?
It was Weidman that happened Silva too, right?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Yeah. I didn't know it was him in the fight. I just heard it happen.
It was full circle as hell. So then
that's so funny.
Silva tweeted like he was all good, and like
I saw that.
Yeah, like best wishes to him and stuff. So
ouch.
It's that's something. I can't even like.
That's brutal. But you're right. Like, there's so many fights in a day, and you start at noon.
There's too many.
You're not done at like 12 until like 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, what am I gonna do all day watching guys I don't know and I will never know. I'll never hear of again. Like, there's so many guys that like they fight once or twice, and like that was it for them. Like, give me a more solid roster of guys I'm actually interested in watching, and stop paying all these other guys that do nothing for the sport. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Or just find a better way to do it. You don't need to have like this extravagant.
Stop pretending like you need to be a billionaire.
No,
you're the only guy that does it in all of sport.
People are there for the main fights. They're not there for anything else.
Nobody's there for your bald ass.
Did you want to talk about the Conor McGregor calling out Kamaru?
I never saw it. I just heard it happened.
I mean, so I know it was talked about before that at least I think Kamaru was down for it.
Okay.
And Conor was down for it. And Dana was like, no fucking chance. Because, Kamaru would beat the shit out of Conor.
Absolutely. I love Conor. I don't like him as a person. He's a terrible person. I love the way Conor fights. There's no chance in hell he would beat fucking Kamaru right now. He couldn't even beat Dustin. What the fuck makes you think you're going to go up and beat Kamaru? Come on,
And
man.
then Kamaru now who can strike? Are you fucking kidding me?
Get out of here. The only thing you had over him is neutralized now. Like, fuck.
Also, just look at how big Kamaru is and then look at how small Conor is. Like,
Yeah, you're not putting on enough weight to fucking do that.
He's got to get up to what, 1 set? Like, that's the thing. Whether it was the Jake Paul fight last week or whether it was the Usman versus Masvidal yesterday, I swear, regardless of the outcomes and anything, it always resorts back to Conor. Like, and he's that polarizing. And it's like, again, he's been, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm the casual fan here amongst the three of us, but like, he stunk it up against in the last one against Dustin.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, why is his name being brought up? Like, this in terms of like worthiness, and we were talking about it before in terms of why did Masvidal get another shot against Kamaru? Why are we talking about Conor?
You know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. If he wants to run his mouth this much against guys you know he can't beat, let him do it.
Why is
You're gonna sell it. You're gonna, because who else is gonna get the shot against Usman right now? No one else.
Conor fights. He's the only one that ever brings me to the sport.
If I'm Dana White,
worthiness.
If I'm Dana White, I do it. Because like who else is going to make you money against Kamaru Usman right now? Like Covington, you do that fight first when Conor's doing Dustin. So like those are close together. And then after that, you might as well run them against each other because I'm not interested in watching Kamaru Usman beat the wheels off of anybody else.
Here's the thing. Let's just big brain plan this out here.
Yeah.
Dustin versus Conor is happening.
Right.
In what, July?
Confirmed, yeah.
So that happens. Chandler versus Oliveira is happening in May, I want to say. For the vacant title,
right? I'll look that up.
Does Conor fight for the title first, and then goes up to fight Usman? And then
I think if we've learned anything about Conor, he does not give one single shit about the title. I think if we've learned anything over the course of his UFC careers, I don't think he gives a fuck about winning titles. I think he just goes for money and fights guys he actually wants to fight. Like, I don't think he gives a shit about Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira right now. Like, why are they're not really like Michael Chandler should not be on anybody's radar right now, personally. Like, there's no way that guy should be fighting for the title right now. I think that's a joke.
So going back to Moro's point of why Conor's in the news this much, it's the same thing with Jorge. They're so big and polarizing at this point and popular that it transcends whatever rankings you have.
It doesn't matter. You're the top ranked guy because it's just who you are.
Exactly.
I found the Conor quote. It was on Twitter. So he came out and said, Usman even copying my shots now because I guess it was similar to a knockout he had way back when.
What?
Yeah, he goes,
it's a fight.
He goes, am I to fight this guy at some stage? I think so. Can't be copying my words and my shots and not get a smack for it. I like 170. It's mine soon.
Okay.
I'd say do it. I say do it.
I'm here for it.
Why not?
In terms of
I would pay to watch that before I pay to watch.
He got fucking slapped against Dustin.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing. Like, this goes to the whole point we were talking about last week in terms of a Super League. Like, teams that don't deserve to be in the highest level and competing at the highest level, they still get their chance based on reputation.
Yeah,
and that
he's got
in
the
itself,
name.
as a logic, to me, is
flawed. It's pretty flawed.
And this is against everything I believe in as a soccer fan.
But like the one thing with like soccer is that like it's soccer is one of those things where it's just like your team's gonna play and you're gonna make the same amount of money no matter who it is.
Yeah.
With the UFC, it's like I don't have to pay to watch this one if I don't want to. But you're gonna pay to watch Kamaru Usman fight Conor McGregor. I think even when he's on this down, you're gonna pay to watch Conor McGregor because he's so polarizing and he's so interesting. Even on his way to the fights, like his whole press tour before it, it's polarizing stuff because you just love to watch it, but you hate the guy. And it's just, you want to watch him get his teeth kicked in, but sometimes it doesn't happen. This time it probably does, and that's probably why you sell.
I think we missed the biggest story to come out of this. And it was wild to see.
Yeah.
It was a full capacity crowd last night.
Was it?
Nice.
Florida, baby.
It looked like it, but
I mean, look, you look at NHL today. I was watching a couple games. They've got fans in attendance. Texas, beginning of the season against the Jays. Like, it's just us, man. I'm here to say it. It's just us in Canada.
we're alone. No, don't even put Canada into this. It's just us in Ontario and like Alberta. That's the only two that are still fucked right now.
Again,
Nova Scotia's good. They've got like 3 cases.
I'm not trying to like lessen the severity of everything that's going on in the news, but it's like it's us and us
we're
alone.
The only
man.
idiots that couldn't figure this out. We talk shit for so long about the United States, and look how well they're doing. Fuck,
I don't mean this as like to try and take away all the work everybody's done in terms of especially the frontline workers, but it's like, dude, the government has failed us so fucking miserably, man.
Yep. I'm not even like on the side of lockdown suck.
I'm cheering on seeing crowds. It's like, fuck, I should be there.
I don't know. That was still wild to see.
It's crazy.
Like,
it was full capacity.
Yeah, it was like
what's
15,000. It's 15,000. The number of
Florida's fucked. Florida's been like
in the stadium.
Florida was mid-pandemic, and
Florida's full on herd immunity though. Like they're just like they accepted that everyone's getting COVID, and if you die, you die.
If he dies, he dies.
7,000, eh? That's not bad.
7,000?
What's that per 100K?
Oh, that's nothing. 7,000 is the
that's a lot,
like,
but it's not a lot for them.
That's like 25% capacity of an NHL rink.
No, 7,000 cases. You mean, right? Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about people in the
7,400. But their 5-day average is 5,900. And like, what's their population? It's not. It's way more than what we are. Right. I got it. 21.48 million in just Florida. Right. So 5,000 cases, like on a 7-day average. That's not too bad for 21.4. We have 14 million. You're saying?
We've got 14.5.
14 and a half. Yeah.
In Ontario or in Canada?
Ontario.
Okay. It's not that many in Canada either. Like we have like
relatively.
That's not that bad. It's not that. Yeah, they're not.
Relatively speaking, our cases are on a higher percentage.
Yeah.
No, I think if you run the numbers, ours are a little bit higher on percentage basis. But again, like.
Okay, but the percentage basis isn't great enough to have full capacity fucking crowds.
Correct.
Here's the thing.
We can't even go to the fucking tennis court, let alone have however many people were in the fucking full capacity crowd in Florida. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm here for seeing like it did being make eased back into it, like in the NHL and stuff. But like that, Florida's its own. They're on their own fucking wavelength.
Exactly.
They also have. I'm trying to see the percentage they have. They have given out 14.5 million doses of the vaccine. They have 27.2% of their population fully vaccinated right now.
Yeah.
Florida.
We have like 3% of our whole country vaccinated right now. They have 27% of a state. Like, they're doing okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that is crazy though. It's crazy to see.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Leafs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, are the Leafs the dirtiest team in the league or what?
Let's go from one dirty sport to another. Yeah.
If you ask Paul Maurice, apparently they are.
One rough and tough sport to another. Let's talk about Toronto hockey.
Remember 2 weeks ago when we never hit and everyone was soft? Yeah. And there's no way we're going anywhere in the playoffs because we're so soft and no one can hit. No one plays dirty.
Playoff hockey because we don't play physical. We don't lay the body. We don't.
And now noted grinder, tough guy.
5 foot. Yeah, okay. That's not where I was going. I was going with 5'7", 180-pound Rasmus Sandin, noted tough guy.
Dirty player.
Just absolutely demolishing 6'2", 200-something-pound Blake Wheeler, because that makes sense. And dirty. I don't know. Noted dirty player. Who else was in that? Alex Galchenyuk, noted dirty player. with the hit on someone. I don't even know. But noted great human being Pierre-Luc Dubois was great. Never threw anything dirty. Never did anything wrong. Never deserved the shots he took from Wayne Simmons. They're angels over there in Winnipeg. I don't understand it. I never had an issue to hate Winnipeg until this series.
Also, Dubois is such a bitch,
man.
bro.
Mm-hmm. Ehlers is a bitch. Both of them are bitches.
I really like Nick Ehlers, but what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, that guy would clean you out in a heartbeat. Like, you have nothing against Joe Thornton. Like, he's bigger than you. He's older than you. He's tougher than you. He's fought more than you. What do you do here?
On the food chain.
Like, what do you do here, man? You can run your mouth all you want, but he would knock your teeth through the back of your skull.
And honestly, I'm here for it because again, I was laughing profusely when I see the trade-off of Wayne Simmons and Joe Thornton for Pierre-Luc Dubois and Nikolai Ehlers.
With the empty net. Your goalie's out of the net, and you lose Nick Ehlers and Pierre-Luc Dubois, and we lose Thornton and Simmons. Simmons wasn't even on the ice. It's like, dude, you butchered that. People were getting mad at Thornton.
Neither was Dubois, though.
No.
That's the funniest part.
People were getting mad at Thornton for taking those penalties at the end of the game. Like, I'll take that trade-off up 2. So they had a power play. Okay. Now Nick Ehlers is scared shitless, and then they end up getting that little battle, takes both of them off the ice. You're still up 2. Even if they score on that power play, you're up 1. So who cares? Like,
I didn't feel great about the
this
first
sets,
one, but
this
like,
sets the stage, though, for if they make a run, both teams, and they end up facing it in come playoffs against one another. I think this really sets the stage because the Leafs are in their head.
Yeah.
And this is not a battle Nick Ehlers wants to take on. This is not a battle Dubois wants to take on. The Leafs are in a position of strength here. For the first time ever, the Leafs have a better physical edge on a team. Dare I say it?
Despite getting out hit too. Like they didn't out hit them in that game. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that they outshot them like 40-20. So maybe like we have the puck a little bit more. So I guess we get hit more. But like there's one more game against them this year. I am so excited to see what happens. Because like the game is going to be meaningless for both teams, I think. The Leafs are already 7 points up, 8 points up. Like at that point it could be well done.
Yeah.
I would love to see what 2-0 to lose. Well done. Ugh. I'm not. No. No, but like I would love to see what happens between these two teams. And then like there's going to be a playoff matchup between the two of them because there's no way Edmonton beats Winnipeg. The only thing that I could see happening is Vancouver slipping into that 4 slot and just dominating us because that seems to be what they do this year.
Crazier things.
Winnipeg is still our greatest threat in the North.
No, Connor Hellebuck is our greatest threat.
Yes, correct.
Winnipeg I'm not afraid of. They're not good.
Correct.
But Connor Hellebuck can steal you series. He can steal you a Stanley Cup.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
But they seem to be in his head a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Especially after getting yanked.
Yeah.
How have you guys liked the first 2 games of the Nick Foligno era?
It's good.
It's good to me.
I think he's exactly what we expected. I don't think he's anything special. I think he's just good enough. Really, he's in your way. He's a pain in the ass. He's real tough. And he's really good at giving the puck to people that are actually good with it. And that's all you need to be.
Is he just an older Zach Hyman? Yes, essentially.
I don't think he's as good as Zach. I don't think he's ever been as good as what Zach Hyman's been.
You could argue that Foligno's better defensively.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
He's very positionally sound.
He's not as good at getting the puck. I can't say that. Like Zach Hyman is elite at doing that.
Hyman's just a dog like that. He's hounding the puck at all times.
The thing that I do like about having Foligno on that first line is he gives he holds Matthews and Marner accountable. Like he's basically their dad out there. Like honestly.
Did you see the goal Marner scored and he like grabbed him by the arms, like picked him up like he was his kid? That's so funny, man. No, I like it. I think he's really good. I don't think he should be on that first line once everybody's healthy. Mm-hmm. I think you kind of try and spread the depth a little bit. I think Nick Robertson should be in the lineup. He won't be, but like I think a third line of like him, Hyman, and like Simmons or Kerfoot is a pain in the ass to play with. And I think that'd be a lot of fun as a third line. I don't think they do it, but I think that's the way they should.
I want to see Hyman on the third line. And
Hyman should be on the third line when he gets back.
He will run third lines over come playoffs. Mm-hmm. He can drive a line on his own.
I was going to say, he's a line driver this year. I've chirped him a lot about not being it, but he's been driving lines. No, this is so weird.
I don't think he ever has had that offensive ability and just ability to carry the puck up confidently.
He's getting the bag.
Aside from this year.
He's getting the bag this summer. Who's going to... Well,
I don't think he takes it. Like, I think if
What's he
there's
making
anybody
right
that
now?
was ever going to take less to play
3.25?
here.
I could see him settling for
What's
like
the bag
4.5,
for you?
4. North of
It'd be-
5.
north of 5, yeah.
Okay. I was thinking the bag was like 7.
No.
He doesn't take that. I think he could get
You're gonna
that
pay
from
him more.
somewhere.
Okay,
You think
I'm
he
here
can
for
get
it.
7?
I'm gonna
I
pay
think
more
he
than
could definitely
Nylander.
get 7 from some teams.
Yeah.
If you're telling me, no, I'm not going to pay
For
him
it.
more
I'm
than
here
that.
for it.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I'm not paying him
I'm
7.
here
Fuck
for
that.
that.
But there's
He gives
definitely
you a lot
teams.
more than Nylander.
The San
I'm
Jose
here to talk
Sharks
about
are going to
this.
pay John Tavares $13 million.
Right.
So there's
I mean,
definitely
they also
teams
paid-
out there that could pay Zach
I mean-
Hyman 7.
I mean, they paid Eric Carlson 11.
There's teams that would pay stupid money for that, and like Zach Hyman's a really good player. I think he could earn 7. I don't think he gets that with the Leafs. I think he's looking at 5 with the Leafs,
Yeah.
which I'd throw at him in a heartbeat when you
He's a
lose Freddie.
hometown
I'd
kid.
give
I don't
him-
think
I'd give
he'll
him-
play hardball.
I'd give him the max term at 5 years, like as a like
He's
here you go.
earned it.
8
And I
years,
don't
$5
think
million,
he's the
why
type
not?
To F off
Until he's
after
36,
I-
he'll probably be bad from like 33 on, but who gives a shit?
He loves
It-
it
you-
here.
You
is
need
the, is the thing
your
you're not
timeline is the
kinda,
next like 4 years. That's all you got to care about. Lower the AAV, doesn't matter.
If there's one thing, it's that you'll get the consistent hard-nosed play out of him until he breaks, right?
Exactly.
And the level
when
of
he
play.
does- And when he does, he's going on LTIR.
Yep.
But
He's
again,
going to
he's-
Robida Island when this thing is all
Yeah.
near done with.
Exactly.
But-
How old
Yeah.
is Zach Hyman? Hyman's what, mid
29.
maybe
29, I think.
29 already.
I'm
Fuck.
pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, he's 28. Okay, he's 28,
28?
turning 29 in June.
Okay.
That gets you to what, 34? I still think he gets you 4-5 solid years of
Yeah.
competitive hard-nosed hockey. Exactly what because he's what, late bloomer now at 28 years
like
old,
we said,
finally starting to show some sort of offensive upside.
Right.
like we literally just said, he
Right.
Nick Foligno is basically the older version of him. So what's the worst that happens? He regresses to be the next Nick Foligno.
Nick Foligno? Oh,
Like, that's-
no.
God forbid you're paying that guy $5 million
And at
in
that point, he
6 years.
just relies that much more on his defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's
Exactly.
fine. I'm
Yeah.
fine
Yeah.
with that.
And he brings leadership, you know?
Heart,
is that
culture,
Yeah, grit,
what are the other words there?
determination,
Yeah. Just I had some.
Yeah.
What else did I have?
lunch pail.
Just bootstrap guy. Pulls up his bootstraps, gets out there, does his job. Good,
Blue
hardworking
collar.
kid. Blue collar. That's the one I'm looking for. That's the other
Oh,
one.
boy.
Blue collar, cultured. I don't know the other words. There's lots of words. those guys
Farm
like to use.
tough. Farm
This is-
strength.
This is my favorite time for like being a Leaf fan and like watching like Boomer Leafs Twitter, because like they got nothing to be pissed off about right now. Like they don't know what to do. They're at the
False.
point where they're like, well,
Morgan Riley.
yeah, that's kind of been the whipping boy, I guess. But like even then, they're not even like
He's the new whipping boy.
they haven't even been that hard on Morgan Riley. They're just like, what the fuck do we
I'm
complain
here to
about
pray.
right now? It's brutal. It's just like they want to go.
Nah,
They're still
he's
trying to
a
go
pretty
after
ass, though.
Nylander for some reason, and it's just like,
Who?
okay. There's a tweet that went a little bit
Nylander
viral
alone.
on Leafs Twitter today, but it was just like, would you rather trade Nylander and re-sign
I saw that.
Hyman and Foligno, or keep Nylander and lose Hyman and Foligno? I'm like, why don't we just do all three? Like, what the fuck?
How about we lose
Why
Freddie?
don't we lose
I'm like,
Riley and Andy?
There's so many other places we can shed cap. Why are we getting rid of the best deal?
Oh, I guess we should have this conversation since
Mm-hmm.
we have this conversation basically in our group chat like every week.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan Riley. What do we?
I like him.
Play him
I
out, but I don't
respect-
think he's coming back.
I don't
He's
think
too big
so
of a
either.
locker room guy.
They love him.
He's too big of a.
They
Yeah.
love him. Like everyone's like trying to get rid of Morgan Riley. It's like he's been there since the dawn of time, I think, give or take.
His play is stuck.
He's
His
terrible.
play is fucking
His play is exactly
stunk.
what it's been since day one. He's
Yeah,
never
but it's
been
not
any
masked
different
by
than
guys
this.
like Ron Hainsey anymore.
It's masked by TJ Brody. He's a net positive right now.
but
like,
look at how bad it was
significantly.
yesterday. He got
When?
burned twice in the first
When?
period.
Yesterday was arguably his best game. They allowed one
Did you
goal
not
against.
watch the first period?
Did you not watch the game where he made so many plays offensively, where he looked phenomenal
about
and had the power play looking better than it's looked all
Did he
year?
get any
That's his
points?
job. That's what he does. That's what he's done since day one. That's all he'll ever do. That's Morgan Riley. TJ Brody makes up for the little mistakes that Riley makes.
TJ Brody is not the same kind of player. He's not a babysitter because he has offensive.
He has been all year long.
And he's not a babysitter compared to Ron Hainsey in the sense that he's
not 40. You're right. He doesn't really. He's not really old enough to look after people's kids.
Up in the play, Brody will.
He doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Rarely. There's a reason TJ Brody has one goal this year.
That's when it leads to the 2-on-0s because Riley's jumping up with them on the other side, and then he doesn't play any defense.
TJ Brody has one goal. You can't say he's jumped up all year because he hasn't been playing. No, but
he's made smart. But I trust Brody to make a smart pinch in the offensive zone. It's just he can't do that because Riley's not going to track back defensively. I feel like he has the offensive ability to do that, Brody, but he's not allowed to because Riley doesn't track back
because he has a guy that
whatsoever.
Does that. Maybe TJ Brody isn't the pairing for him, but it's worked so well that it does not matter. Like, yes, Morgan Riley gets burned so much. He gets burned a lot, but it also doesn't matter because you have TJ Brody breaking up 2-on-1s every single time. And like he's been elite at breaking up 2-on-1s.
That's not going to.
There's no difference. Yes, it will because who's going to do anything different? It's not like TJ Brody's going to get worse at breaking up 2-on-1s.
No, but it's going to get so much more exploited and people are going to lose their minds over it.
Who cares?
One simple mistake.
Who cares if people lose their minds? That has nothing to do with how the team is built. Like, fans can freak out all day about the 2 mistakes a game that Morgan Riley's going to make. But unless you're noticing the 100 things he's doing at the other end.
What did he do in the other end?
Did you not watch him on the power play? Yeah, they didn't score off it. They didn't
even score.
Watch him move the puck on the other end. Watch him move the puck up from his own zone.
Really?
Like, yes.
That's what we're gonna.
He's an elite puck-moving defenseman.
Give him all this praise because he can move the puck up to the center ice.
Yes, better than anyone else on the team. Yes,
not better than Sandin right now.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Did you not see Sandin rush?
Did you not see Sandin almost get scored on the power play because he turned the puck over?
Oh, so 1-1. Okay, so his one doesn't get voided as well.
No, but don't tell me he's better at moving the puck than Morgan Riley.
I'm here for Sandin on PP1.
We've seen 5 minutes We've seen 5 minutes of Rasmus Sandin on the power play.
Yeah, but play him with the better guys. Okay, let's play Morgan Riley with the.
Okay, you can do whatever you want on that power play. Morgan Riley gives the puck up a lot. He gives it to his guys a lot. Doesn't matter what he does if the guys don't shoot. You're putting up 1 to 2 shots per power play. You're not scoring in that. Doesn't matter who you have running it. You could have fucking Jake Muzzin running that thing. It does not matter. Because as long as the forwards aren't shooting, you're not scoring. Plain and simple. It's not Morgan Riley's not the problem on the power play.
No,
he gets the puck to guys that need to. And Rasmus Sandin's not a fix to that power play. The only fix to the power play is changing your way of doing it.
Rasmus Sandin's not a fix to the lineup.
Yep.
All I'm saying is that I have not liked Riley's play one bit this year because
a lot of people haven't.
Unless you're putting up the points that justify you playing 24 minutes a night and being a defensive liability in your own end, then why are they playing him 24 minutes a night to be a defensive liability if it's not translating into any offensive success?
Here is my point.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan Riley basically sold his soul for 2016 defensively.
Yeah,
because he's regressed ever since.
Yep,
he was an elite defensive. He was elite all-around defenseman. In 16,
he's never been very good defensively.
I mean, but look, he was legitimately good. Don't you remember?
Do you have the numbers on that season?
In 16 and 17, don't you remember Morgan Riley always doing the dive block on the 2-on-1s? He used to do that shit like crazy. Yeah. When's the last time you seen him do that? It's all TJ Brody and now Travis Dermott.
TJ Brody, because Morgan Riley's the reason they're on a 2-on.
Morgan Riley's on a 51-point pace. So what do you mean he's not putting up the offense to make up for the fact that he's a
okay? And when Jake Gardner would put up a 51-point pace, we'd still bash the shit out of him.
Every fan base needs their Jake Gardner, and I don't know why that's a thing, but it was Jake Gardner, and then it was Cody Ceci, and now it's Morgan Riley. I don't understand why it's a thing with Leaf fans. You just need to have someone to bash.
2018-19.
Mm-hmm.
And who was
when Jake Gardner was still in the team because you could just whip him all day.
Is it fair to say that Morgan Riley is just Jake Gardner now?
He always has been. He's never not been Jake Gardner. Like, this is what I'm saying. I don't know where this came from that people are like, oh, he's so much worse. He is what he is. He is what he's been for 10 years.
He's what it is.
It is what it is.
I'm saying play him with Bogosian.
Well, that's going to be tough because he'd be playing up in the press box right now.
Yeah.
The different
For 4 weeks?
No, but
so what
my
you're telling
point
me
is
is you
that-
want him to sit.
You're
for 4
right in
weeks.
saying that he has been the same thing consistently for the past 5 years. I'm not going to deny that.
Mhm.
The only difference for me is that you have a
He hasn't grown.
defensive
Mhm.
in Brody, who's not a defensive defenseman. He is
He
a
is.
perfect two-way defenseman.
But he is.
I think he's a two-way defenseman.
Who's really good on the back
He's
end.
he is not. Riley needs a true. Like-
Stay-at-home guy.
Like he needs somebody to fucking babysit him. I don't know how else to put it.
But
He
like,
needs
okay,
somebody
here's
to
the
sit
thing.
there
Here's
and,
the thing.
and defend for him.
Okay, but the thing
That
is,
was
you're
his
not
best
playing-
year. Look at his best year offensively.
No,
Played with
I
Ron
understand that.
Hainsey.
But can't you say that, like, you can't put him... So you're going to put him on the third pair, or you're going to put him on the first pair?
Who?
Because Zach Bogosian
then
is
I'm
not
saying
playing...
play-
Zach
then-
Bogosian
then
can't play
Bogosian-
24 minutes a night.
Then, exactly. Pick your poison. Then that's to my point. They should have.
I
brought in a
picked my
defenseman
poison.
to
My
play with
poison is
Riley.
having Morgan Riley on the first pair with TJ Brody because they've been a net positive, and they've been great.
Sure, but there's so much potential for more. Is my point.
I mean,
Why?
ideally,
And you
they should have
sold out
brought
on
in...
that when you didn't bring one guy in for the playoffs, and you went.
Ideal,
How many
ideally,
Stanley
they
Cup
should have
champs in
traded
the last
Foligno.
10 years have had one guy that is not good at defense but is an elite scorer? Almost all of them.
Who?
You can run them back. Pittsburgh has Chris Letang. He's not good defensively.
Chris Letang is a lot better
What?
defensively than Morgan Riley.
He's never been that great defensively.
Dude,
He's
I
not.
watched those games religiously just
So
as
did
much
I.
as you did. He's so much better than
He's not that
Morgan
much
Riley
better,
on his
man. He
own
does
end.
the exact same things, but he's an elite puck mover and he scores. The difference is we
Okay,
don't
but
see the
that's-
scrutiny of him because he's in Pittsburgh and not in Toronto.
But
Who else?
he can
Who
at
else has
least
won it?
score the puck.
Last
He
year.
scores at a point
Last
a
year
game pace.
was Tampa.
Victor Hedman.
Victor
Victor
Hedman.
Hedman's good both ways. It doesn't really count.
Alex Petrangelo the year before.
I don't want to say anything.
Oh, you're gonna
Who
say
else?
he's not good defensively?
I'm gonna say he's fantastic. They had, but like, who was behind him? They had
Parayko.
who's not
Parayko,
really good at either
Gunnarsson.
side. I'm trying to think of who else is on that group. That's three.
They have a left-handed.
Bortuzzo, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
They had just a bunch of 6'4"
They didn't.
fucking giants.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't play defense very well though because they just got bailed out by Jordan Binnington every game. Who was the? Oh, Washington. Washington got John Carlson. John Carlson is like the exact same thing Morgan Riley is, but he can pass the puck to Alex Ovechkin.
But my
Thank you.
point is, you look at Hedman again. a lot
Hedman's
better
elite. That's not fair.
offensively. But again, he scores at a point a game pace. John Carlson,
Sure.
a point a game pace.
And does not play a lick of defense.
Chris Letang, injured often.
John
but a
Carlson has
point a game
never played
pace.
at a point a game pace.
John Carlson?
1 year.
Carlson?
Has he not?
John Carlson's been in the plus 60s to 70s for the last 3 years.
Yeah, because he's playing with Ovechkin. But he's not. But that's not a point per game pace.
And he's playing with Matthews and Marner.
He's played at a point per game pace once in his entire career.
last year.
He's only scored over 4 times in his entire
I
career.
mean, and he's also done 68,
what did I just
70,
say, the
and
last
75.
4 years?
those are nuts. Yeah, he's playing on a power play with Alex Ovechkin where he just hands it over to him.
And he's
It's not that
playing
hard.
on
Morgan Riley would also put up
okay,
70 on that power play. It's not that hard.
Okay, but I'm saying that Morgan Riley is playing with the best shooter in hockey right now. We give him so much praise the rest of the year, but now when we want to give Riley the benefit of the doubt, it's because he's not playing with Ovechkin. He's playing with somebody who we say is better than Ovechkin.
Who isn't shooting? Who doesn't shoot on the power play?
Okay,
Like,
but
can you
that's just
disagree
the
with that?
past
When's the
5
last time
games.
you've seen a one-timer to Austin Matthews on the power play? Never. I
Fair
never
enough,
see it
but
anymore.
my
I don't
point
know.
It's
remains-
so
Because
different.
Hold on.
My
Well, you
point-
can't expect. You
Who?
can't expect.
Mo?
You can't expect that. You can't expect that for Austin Matthews to receive the one-timer pass because Mitch Marner's just a better shooter.
Yeah, why would you give the puck to Austin Matthews
wasn't worth the
when you
jump.
could be giving it to Mitch Marner? You're right. It's just
Usman just responded to Connor.
John Carlson's been.
he's a -7 this year, by the way.
Oh God.
John Carlson.
Oh, plus minus. Oh, we're bringing. Oh,
I know how much Morrow loves
stats
plus
going up.
minus.
That's coming. Ron Hagee let Morgan Riley be a plus 40 defenseman in 60.
So, like, if you want to go by plus minus, not great.
Again,
Not great.
okay,
520 points of his career.
Sure,
he's
minus
only
-7, but he's at a point a game pace. There's certain
He's not.
give
He's
and
not.
takes you have to make.
He's not.
Morgan Riley is at what? You said a 51 point output on an 82 game
51.
season.
He's got I just had it up here. Where the hell to go?
Like, his defensive play has been non-existent, and it's more glaringly
so is John
obvious
Carlson.
when he's not putting.
John Carlson
points.
is one of the worst D-men in the league defensively. Like, you understand that, right? Like, the guy cannot play defense.
Sure, but he puts up. Sure, but he puts up
The
crazy.
same
Morgan
amount of
Riley's
points
not
as
as
Morgan
good as
Riley.
Morgan
putting
Riley's not
up
as
crazy
good as-
points.
Is he frozen for you? Or?
No, I mean, yeah, but
okay.
I can hear him.
I'm
But
not
look,
frozen,
Morgan
I don't
Riley.
know.
No, he's good now. He's good now.
Okay.
Morgan Riley's just not as good as John Carlson, like straight up.
No. No, but they're the same style of player. I would say they're the same defenseman, like, in terms of, like, their play in their own end.
All offense, no defense. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, is all I'm saying. A lot of teams that win the cup, maybe not the Blues. I think the Blues are the outlier. But a lot of teams that have won the cup have that guy that can't play defense, but they're really good with the puck and good at moving it. Brent Seabrook.
Okay, and
You can say that,
they
like,
play with a stay-at-home.
Like-
Naturally, Brian
Who
Dumoulin.
does Dumoulin?
I forget
That's the
who.
name we're gonna go with.
Oli Mata.
Pittsburgh had 3 guys that only knew how to play offense.
Yo, what's his name from Detroit? Trevor Daley.
Trevor Daley. Daley was good then, good at defense then, but that was about it.
Again, like, you got to play. Again, I'm all for Riley jumping up in the play, but don't play him with TJ Brody. Is my point, and I've said this for a pretty long time now. Play him with a babysitter.
What is your shtick against TJ Brody? Because every defensive metric around TJ Brody tells you how great of a defender is, and just watching TJ Brody,
he's not 6'3" every time
he doesn't hit guys like I don't even know who.
Like,
nobody
no,
hits
but
guys
that's my
anymore,
point,
but
like,
who cares?
My point is TJ Brody, I feel, is getting the short end of the stick in the sense that he is such a tremendous defenseman, and the fact that he can only play one side of the puck naturally because Riley's playing fourth forward, he's getting done by. And
is
he
he
could be a
not?
lot more than
Is
what
he
already
not
is.
elite at doing it? Like
Riley?
TJ Brody is elite in the back end at stopping 2-on-1s and stopping rushes like that. Like, it's what he's there for. It's what he's there to do.
Is he
Who
elite at
cares
doing
if he's
that?
not
Yes.
scoring?
Is Riley elite at doing whatever he's doing this year? Not a
Yes.
chance.
Yes.
Not a chance. No, not a chance.
Okay. Let's pull it up then. You're telling me he's not an elite point scorer or an elite puck mover
This year, no.
this year? Okay.
This year, no.
Here we go. I need D-man. What qualifies as elite for you? He has dropped, but
I don't know. As long
in terms
as
of points,
Roman, you can get away with in this
Roman Yossi?
up in the play.
You mean the Norris winner?
Do you mean the guy with less
Roman
points than Morgan
Buffalo
Riley?
as well? Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
but
he's on a shit team.
he's been injured all year.
They're in the playoffs.
Outlier.
Are they?
He's played 6 games less than Morgan Riley, so points per game he's got more. Sure. Like, Morgan Riley currently sits 15 in the
Where does
NHL in points
Riley
per
rank?
defenseman. 15 in NHL defenseman.
15th.
15th. Despite the fact that their power plays on a 2-for-60 streak right now.
I don't care about power plays. That's not a valid excuse.
Why not? That's where most of the other guys are getting their points from. Morgan Riley has 11. The leader is Adam Fox at 22. Like, you add like 5 to 6 more points into that mix, and he's top 10. Like, it's not his fault that the power play scores aren't
You can't play the
scoring.
hypothetical with me. You can't
Why?
play the hypothetical with me. That's bullshit.
Why? It's a straight up fact.
Okay.
That if the shooters on the power play were scoring goals, he would have more assists.
Should have gone in yesterday. What happens if the goals that should have gone in yesterday brought down his plus minus even more because they
don't
deserve to
care
go
about his
in
plus
because he
minus.
made such a shit play defensively?
He's
If we're gonna
plus
play
14.
hypotheticals,
He's plus 14. He's like one
Sure,
of like
because of TJ
6
Brody,
guys in that top
like you
15 that are
say.
plus. Right. So why do we
Sheffield,
care?
Like Hamilton,
He's top 50. He's top tier of the league in terms of moving the puck and scoring. He's playing with a really good defender with him. So why do we care?
Point.
Yep.
The Leafs, I agree that they should have gone out.
Again, you guys, if you guys are confident with it,
hold on. You just told me you can't speak in hypotheticals.
But I'm not confident in this defense.
You just told me I couldn't speak in hypotheticals. You're literally speaking in a hypothetical back to me. You just said it's gonna get exploited come playoff time. You don't know that. That's a hypothetical.
I'm saying. This is my opinion. This is my opinion. Strict opinion at this.
My opinion is the power play was better. He'd have more points. Same thing.
My case is that if you guys are both comfortable with this defense and are confident with them, I'm here to agree to disagree.
Okay.
Because I do not have faith in this defense, and I'd love to be proven wrong.
Sure.
But I do not have faith, not the slightest, that they will go the 3 rounds.
Okay.
That at least their end of the bargain will hold up.
I think that ideally, the Leafs should have traded for David Savard, and then you have a top 4.
I think their D could have been better. I think they could have made it better, but I have faith in this defense. They just gave up, 21 shots to the arguably, everyone calls them the top forward unit in the North.
But we've said it for literally months.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that the Leafs do in the regular season matters.
Mm-hmm. No.
Legitimately.
Sure.
So
but
I can feel some type of way right now.
Be exactly
I can feel some type of way right now, but the 4 games however long that their playoff stretch could end up being, that's going to determine whether or not the season was a success. And I would feel a lot better if my top 4 was like Savard, with Riley, and then Muzzin and Brody on your back. And that would just straight up, you would feel a lot better. Even though the Foligno move is nice, it wasn't your most glaring issue. Even though you haven't been scoring like you had at the beginning of the season.
I don't think, at least for 2 rounds, the defense is going to be your glaring issue, because this defense has proven that they can shut down any of the 4 teams you're going to play, or 3 teams you're going to play right now, consistently on a consistent basis. They've given up 25 or less almost every time they play these teams.
I'm here to disagree. Agree to disagree.
That's a straight up fact, but
okay.
Are we finally done with the Leafs?
Yeah, I've said what I need to say.
Oh, yeah, we are.
What do we have next? The Jays somehow stole 2 out of 3
we
games
won a series in the Trop.
What?
In the Trop.
In a 1-0 game.
In a 1-0 game in the Trop.
I think Ben Wagner tweeted out and he was like, the Jays go 1-2-3 to start the top of the 9th. They now face 1-0 for a series win in the Trop. I'm like, oh, fuck me. This is hell.
It's over, then. We're losing. Man, this series was the most Trop thing, too, because you saw Kevin Biggio put one up into the roof, but it didn't hit the, what are they called? Not the walkways rings? Or whatever they called. Yeah, it didn't hit one of the rings. It hit one of the wires that was between the rings. Catwalks is the word. It hit one of the wires between the catwalks. And that ended up being dead because it didn't hit a ring, but it hit a wire, so they called it dead. That is the most Trop thing you'll ever see.
Right.
Brasso hit his home run in that little Evan Longoria square, I'm pretty sure. That's the most...
against Robbie Ray?
Yeah. It's just it was the most Trop series you've ever seen, but we actually came out on the right side of it for once. That never happens.
And now, who's at the nearby... Well, we're ahead of the Yankees again because they lost today, so that's nice.
Boston lost too, didn't they?
I don't know if this stat holds true. Holy shit, Tatis just homered again.
Fuck.
Welcome back, man.
So I didn't think that when the season started, we'd be at a point to where it's not the Blue Jays bats that are keeping them in it, but it's
it's the pitching.
Buddy,
oh my God, dude. Consistently, all of them. I don't really have a complaint about anyone. I know a lot of people hate Dolis because he's slow and they get frustrated with him.
I don't know.
But his numbers, numbers are great. See, this is the thing: is everyone's hopped on that wagon where it's just someone started hating Dolis and everyone's like, yeah, fuck Dolis. There's always a reliever every year. This year just seems to be Rafael Dolis, but he's been good. Let's not pretend that Rafael Dolis isn't a good reliever.
Here's the thing with Dolis. It's never a clean inning until today, obviously. But
Yeah.
But he gets out of it every time.
He gets it every time. Like that was the entire thing last year. I didn't think that the Jays would have an ERA
3.2.
fifth in the league.
Fourth.
Well,
Wow.
tied for fourth.
Tied for
with the Yankees.
fourth
Yeah.
with the Yankees.
And we're missing
3.2
guys, aren't
ERA,
we?
dude. Yeah, they were missing a lot of guys. They got 2 of them back.
Romano's out.
No, Romano's back.
Merriweather,
He pitched
whatever his
yesterday.
name is. Oh.
Merriweather's out. Chatwood just came back.
Mhm.
Yates is obviously out, but I don't even think of Yates as a Blue Jay at this point. I don't know if that's just me,
Free
but
agent.
yeah, he's just kind of like
Thomas Hatch
he's
was
not
the
really
other
here.
one. He was-
Hatch never
Hatch
really
was
had a
hurt,
chance.
yeah.
I didn't think Hatch would play a big role in this.
I think
rotation.
he would have.
Really?
I think he would have out of the pen.
Like out of the pen?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Over who though?
Anyone? They really like him.
Yeah. I thought they'd still work on him in the minors before bringing him up, but either way, he's out. So yeah, that's a dent. But even like guys like Stripling, Roark's gone right now. That's about it. Is Zoik hurt or is Zoik just not pitching?
He's hurt.
So Zoik's out, and you still have a team with an ERA of 3.2, fourth in the league. That's insane, man. Like
Insane.
the bullpen's been good, the rotation's been good. The
And then eventually-
3-man rotation. Let's just mention that it's a 3-man rotation right now, and
Essentially,
they've been
yeah.
good.
And then you have obviously George Springer. I think he's coming back sometime this
Tuesday.
week. Teoscar
Tuesday.
hopefully is over COVID soon, and like you realize you're adding arguably your 2 biggest bats coming into the year back into this lineup to where it was getting carried by Vlad. Like I don't even want to say Bo anymore, but like
It's just
it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be fun.
little positive. Cavan looks way better at the plate.
He does.
He's
does.
taking way more pitches. He looks a lot more comfortable at the plate. Obviously, he made that error in the 8th inning yesterday where it wasn't too pretty in the field. So that still needs a little bit of work. But if the bat's coming around, you can handle the errors from Cavan, especially in a new position. So I'm not too worried about that. I had more, but my computer just crashed. So that's good.
Oh, rip.
Yeah.
So Springer comes back this week. That's obviously a
It's
positive.
likely Tuesday is what it sounds like because he played an entire game today in that
that's what I
inter-squad
heard.
game.
Mhm.
Not guaranteed to be Tuesday. Obviously, they're going to keep that close to their chest until Tuesday comes. But it sounds to me like he'll probably take that trip with them to Washington at least. So if it's not Tuesday, it'll probably be Wednesday or Thursday.
So that's obviously a big positive. Getting your $150 million man into the lineup. I
have a
don't know
question.
how to feel about the Blue Jays. What shoot?
So it looks like Springer and Teoscar both play this week. When both of them come back onto the roster, what do you do?
What do you mean?
How do you go about this? Like who goes down, who goes in the lineup, who sits?
I think Rowdy sits
Okay.
from the lineup right now because Randall's been good. Like
Right.
straight up, he has. Give him his due. And
Yep.
you ride Randall until he gets cold, and then you switch.
Because it's going to happen.
Vladdy
That's just what Randall does.
It's Randall Grichuk.
Mhm.
Maybe it allows you to give Lourdes some more time off because he's obviously a streaky player. When he's hot, and then
Randall.
right now he's ice cold.
His hard
So-
hit percentage is down like 21% or something like that from what it was last year. That's not pretty.
So obviously not great. But yeah, like that's basically what I do.
So who gets sent down? JD.
It's JD.
You
And
need
you
a
gotta-
second guy.
Yeah.
Is
I
it
mean-
Santiago or is it Panic?
I think it could it be a bullpen arm? I don't know.
They seem to like having a lot of pitchers. I think it should be
They have
a
11
bullpen arm.
bullpen-
in
they have
my-
11 bullpen
They're
arms right
they're
now.
sitting with one extra bullpen.
But
guy
they
right
only
now.
have 3 starters. So
Yeah. So they need the extra bullpen arms.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know. I think personally, if I'm making the decision, I think it's Joe Panic, but I don't think that's the decision they make. I think it's probably Santiago. But going
I
back down.
agree. I agree. I like Santiago better defensively, and I think that's where you would want him to be out there more. He's obviously Joe Panic's a primary second baseman, and then you're basically toying it with him out there at like shortstop and third base, and he's not totally comfortable there.
No.
But Santiago can just straight up play anywhere. So
That's the thing too, is like when Cavan's struggling at third base right now, at least you have Santiago to go in and like kind of steady the ship a bit. Joe Panic going to third isn't steadying the ship. It's just the exact
No.
same thing, but a different
It's
name.
the same thing.
He makes the same mistakes. Like, he doesn't have the arm
Precisely.
for it. He doesn't really have the reaction time for it, and it's just not a great fix. But he is the veteran leader on the group, which is crazy to think about because he hasn't been around that long. And you kind of need a guy like that. They seem to like him on the team, and it just seems like a guy you kind of need to have around.
It's a no-win situation because I think the guys both like both guys.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're both just... I feel like everybody seems to like each other in that group except for Tanner Roark. Seems like the odd guy out. It's weird.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm sure they like him, but like it just seems like he's always off on his own somewhere.
Yeah. Did you hear about the Fernando Tatis versus Trevor Bauer?
I saw him cover his eye. That's all I heard about.
So last night, obviously, Tatis came back earlier this week, and he homered again today. So he's got 5 home runs in the last 3 games.
Most of them against the Dodgers too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
All of them against the Dodgers.
All of them against the Dodgers?
Yeah. So he had a 2-homer night against the Dodgers. Last night he had a 2-homer night against Trevor Bauer. Apparently, Fernando Tatis was at the plate and he looked back at the catcher while he was doing his signs, I guess, and then he hit a home run the next pitch.
Oh.
So people were
he hit it on the
as in
next
Trevor
pitch.
Bauer, were all up in arms about that, and Bauer was like, "Next time,
that is a scummy move, though.
Next time, just tell me, and I'll tell you. Like I've told, like I'm cool with that." So then, Tatis replies back with a photo of Tatis holding a kid, and the kid's photoshopped face is Trevor Bauer, and it's in Spanish. He says, "Calm down, kid," or "Relax, child." Like, so they're going back and forth. My whole thing is that's not sign stealing. That's on the catcher.
I mean,
don't be a dumbass. And is your sign that
scummy.
simplistic? Is your sign? That
I mean, yeah. But if there's nobody on, was there people on base?
Looking down.
If there's nobody on base, your signs are pretty basic. Like you're just throwing stuff that is really easy to read.
Yeah,
Because
but,
you don't like it's kind of a scumbag move to do that as the batter.
It's a scumbag move. But who was the motherfucker last year that was doctoring the balls? Trevor Bauer.
Hey, allegedly.
I mean,
allegedly.
I don't know.
And they allegedly did it again this year, but even though he's under scrutiny and people are actually looking at his balls, but whatever. I don't like it from Tatis. I don't like when people do that. I didn't like it when people did that when I was playing. It's not even like against baseball code. It's just a dickhead move. But I think if there's any two that I think that'd be fun. I don't think Trevor Bauer gives a shit.
No, and Bauer was cool with like him celebrating the home runs and stuff, which I'm like, yeah. Cool.
I love Trevor Bauer for that. Is he's really like forward thinking in the fact that like we need to make this game for younger people by doing shit like that, as opposed to like, oh, let's just make games quicker and easier to take in. Like that's just stupid. Give me more Nick Castellanos flexing on guys, not give me less time between pitches. Like I don't care about that.
Throwing at guys for celebrating. Like get the fuck out of here.
Like, that's not fun.
All right, is it time?
I think so. Oh, can we just talk real quick about Madison Bumgarner?
Oh yeah. So
I heard
Mad
about
Bum.
this actually.
It's so heartbreaking.
Mad Bum, so it was a doubleheader against the Braves. Mad Bum now pitching for the Diamondbacks. Still weird.
I don't like it.
7 innings. He throws a no hitter. Is it a no hitter?
Yes.
Are you asking me personally or like?
Yeah.
Or the rule? Because I know the rule is no. But personally,
They're not recognizing it.
Personally, yes.
Why are
If you set the game up to be 7 innings and you go 7 innings with no hits, it's a no hitter. It's a shitty no hitter that I feel bad about if I'm Madison Bumgarner.
I agree.
But it's
Why
a no
are you
hitter
sanctioning a game at 7 innings if you're not going to recognize the stats that would come with it?
That's the age-old question. Why do you have 7-inning ball games?
If you're going to sanction
fucking
a
big leagues.
7-inning game as a league, you have to sanction the records or
7-inning
any
no-hitters.
stats that comes with it. So then don't count any stats. If you're not going to count a no-hitter, don't count his ERA from the game.
Why do we count home runs?
Home runs from that game. It's got to be universal.
Yep.
That's just my take on it.
No, I'm with you. I don't understand why we have 7-inning games to begin with. I think they're the biggest joke in baseball. Second biggest joke, that extra innings rule still sucks. I don't get it.
Oh, it's stupid.
It's the worst. The 2 worst rules. And I know exactly why they do it. It's because it makes games quicker, and Rob Manfred doesn't have to watch as much baseball. Guy hates the sport. It's just clear. Sucks. I hate the rule. I think it should be a no-hitter. I think it's a lame no-hitter. I don't like it. But it's a no-hitter nonetheless.
Okay. How many times have I...
We forgot to mention?
Yep.
Hinjin Ryu, he hurt his butt.
He hurt his butt. Very butthurt.
He's very butthurt. It could be an issue, but
Could be. I
Doesn't
think
sound too
everything
bad.
that it doesn't. Yeah, everything sounds minor. So
Yeah.
thank God.
just a strain. It's not bad.
or else we would have 2 starters. You know.
That's crazy. One of them is a guy that likes to go on 6 days rest,
Yeah.
and he's getting
Yeah.
2 days rest. Like,
Perfect.
oof.
Who's the one that's 6 days?
Ryu.
Ryu. Okay, good.
Ryu
Yeah, I was
likes
just
the
like,
6.
I know. No.
he-
That's what
no,
I was
no.
saying. I was just like, wait.
He likes to go on 6 days rest.
I thought
and
it's 5 days rest.
Well, no, every day. Everyone is
'Cause
5
it's-
days. Well,
no, 'cause it's 4
technically,
days,
yeah,
4
yeah,
days,
yeah,
yeah.
Every 5th day. So he likes 5 days rest.
Yeah.
He likes as much rest as possible, but
Yeah. You know, thick king.
yeah, he needs a little regeneration. Hey, if he pitches like that, take as many days as you want.
I know. Okay. How many times do we randomize? Once? 3? 5?
5.
Okay. 1, 2,
For those that are confused,
3,
we're doing another
4.
game
5.
because we like to play games.
Me,
around
Morrow, Brant.
here.
Mine the middle again. Fuck.
It's always more on the
Yeah.
No, you might as well introduce it.
So we needed an activity, and today we're doing basically a futures draft to where we're drafting the 4 major North American sports. We're going to go with we set the criteria of 1998 or later. So that means
Younger.
Or younger,
Yeah.
I think is the. Yeah.
regardless.
You know what we mean?
It's hilarious that you two are correcting me, but you know, we'll let it slide.
98, 99,
Yeah.
2000
Yeah.
onwards.
Correct. So we're gonna go with
Simplistic
that.
terms. I love it.
Okay. I'm gonna go.
You're leading us off, buddy.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Pressure's
go with
on.
my first pick from the NBA, Luka Doncic.
Fuck.
Oh. Cool.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to take Tatis now because he's the only one I know of.
Hey, bitch. Okay.
So I can.
It's not fair. I don't like it. Now. Are we taking we're looking to succeed here, right? We're not looking for a team that I just want to watch.
Correct.
Because if we're looking for a team I want to watch, actually, you know what? No, fuck this. I'm just going for a team I want to watch. I'm going Vlad for fun.
Okay.
Soto's better, but I'm going with Vlad
Okay.
because it's fun. And then I'm going Zion.
Fair.
Thick team all day, baby. Let's go.
The
I
Toronto
don't have to
Pick'ems.
pick my
Yeah.
NBA pick until the very
Yeah,
end.
we are the thick kings of the sports world.
Okay. So now I'm okay. I'm gonna take Justin Herbert now.
I didn't know he was that young.
Yeah.
Cool.
And now it's Amir for 2 picks.
Great. I'm happy with what's left. I'm gonna go with one photo. Oh fuck! I didn't need to.
You
Yes!
didn't have a baseball player.
Yes.
That's tough.
Fuck me.
It's in. The pick is in.
That's fine. Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
Wait,
So
didn't
wow,
you
you
already
didn't
take?
even touch it then. Perfect. I'm taking Elias Pettersson.
Yeah, that's fine.
Petey's younger than.
Yeah.
Isn't he Matthew's age?
Nope. 98. I double checked it.
Wow. I have no fucking clue who to pick for hockey.
Let's fucking get it. I smoked this draft.
I don't know.
I just got to confirm his age in the NBA, and I think I stole the win. Yes.
How
Yeah,
old are you?
I know who you're picking. Yeah.
Let's fucking get it, baby.
I
still
legitimately.
disagree.
I have 2 picks here, right?
Yes.
I legitimately cannot think of any football players that have already been drafted. So as such, I'm going with Trevor Lawrence.
I already just took
You
him.
just
Did
did
you?
that?
Oh no! Then I got nothing, dude. I didn't hear you. Shit. I got nothing. I literally don't know a single football player that's
In case
under...
you wanted him, Daniel Jones is a 97, unfortunately.
God. Can you give me someone thick that I can put on my team?
Can I give him to him?
I'm taking Cale Makar in hockey too, by the way.
Oh, okay. That was my second pick.
Yeah. Oh no.
Do you want a name for football or no?
Honestly, you guys would both pick football players, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. I need
the
help.
other two. Okay, I'll be real with you. The other two names on my list, I didn't even have Trevor Lawrence, were
Yeah.
Chase Young and Tua.
Oh, give me Chase Young all day long.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that young. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want Tua. Tua's a great guy. He's just not succeeding the way
It's
Chase
fine.
Young is
It's
right
fine.
now.
It's fine. It's fine. Right into your guys' stuff into the dog.
And then my pick for the NBA is Jason Tatum.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like team thick. Cale Makar is not very thick, but
And then Amir to round it all off with the NHL. I didn't know anybody else to pick for the NHL.
I know, right? After the two.
I only had two names. I had Makar and Pedersen.
Niels Hoglander's young, isn't he?
Shut the fuck up.
Quinner is 24, isn't he?
Quinn Hughes?
Yeah.
I don't think
hold
so.
on,
No,
I
he's
think he's eligible.
he's
He's
99. He's
2000.
99. He's 99.
99.
That's probably the pick. What is Charlie McAvoy's definitely 97.
He's older than me, I think.
Yeah. It's a toughie, bro. I'm trying to think. Who else is like a young stud in the NHL?
Sebastian
hasn't-
Aho? No, same.
But he's
97.
Jack Hughes.
yeah.
Like there's a lot that are still raw.
Jack
Like,
Hughes.
Jack Hughes is probably-
Lafreniere.
I think though that
Kako,
like
Tyson, maybe you're
Quinn Hughes is more of a sure thing than Jack Hughes is. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like
Right now, yeah.
mhm. So I would go Quinn Hughes. I'm gonna take the Hughes as in plural. I get two. I get both of them.
Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes, Matthews. How old's Brady? Brady's
I'm not taking Brady Kachuk.
can't stand that guy. I like Brady more than Matt now. I flip flop on which one I hate more. I'm kind of more Brady than Matt at this point in my life.
You hated Brady Kachuk.
Still hate him. Oh, he's number 2 on the list. But Matt is way worse. Brady's just
Matt's
not
a
a good
shit
hockey
disturber.
player. That's all it is for me. It's like Brady does what Matt does, but he's not good. Matt just does it way worse.
I think so. I think that's the activity. To just recap, my team is Luca, Juan Soto, Quinn Hughes, and Trevor Lawrence. Morrow, Jason Tatum. He spelled Jason wrong. So he gets
A-Y, right?
Jason Tatum. Yeah, it's J-Y. Fernando Tatis Jr., Elias Pettersson, and Justin Herbert. Brant gets on Team Thick. Zion, Vladdy, Cale, Makar, and Chase Young.
I wanted to be like the opposite of me. I'm very not thick. So I wanted to like make up for my lack of thick.
Before we end off here's the quote from Kamaru Usman on Conor McGregor.
Yeah, let's hear
Or
this.
well, so we said Connor's earlier. Usman even copying my shots now. Am I to fight this guy at some stage? I think so. Can't be copying my words and my shots, not get a smack for it. I like 170. It's mine soon. Kamaru responds with, except when I touch you at 170, they go out. They don't even go out at 155 anymore for you. I finish people, you get finished. Not wrong.
Good on
Ain't
him.
wrong.
Good on him.
I don't know. Fucking Connor lobbed that up so high. That's not that hard. You could have teed off on that.
Yeah. So
I think they do the fight. I don't think
I don't know.
Kamaru takes
We'll
it.
see.
What does Kamaru have to gain in that fight? Like,
Money?
literally nothing. Money
Money.
is that's a good point. That is a big fight. I did mention that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
How many
the
days?
second biggest fight in UFC history, potentially.
Well, number 1 is gonna be Khabib and Connor for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Unless Jon Jones and Ngannou fight,
Francis.
and
Is
even
it
that,
bigger?
like,
Is it bigger?
I don't
the
think that-
rivalry's not there to the extent
don't
that
think
that
they're
one
as-
was.
Am I wrong to say that I don't think that if you combine both fighters, they're not as good as
No.
Khabib and Connor? Exactly. Yeah.
Good, like talent wise.
Yeah.
I think it's tight.
Maybe Connor really is just Francis Ngannou.
Maybe. I
Right?
think that's what I mean. I think they're close in that. I think in terms of name and product value, it's Khabib and Connor are night and day over what John and Francis are. So I think that gives them the advantage. And that's what sells fights, right? It's not necessarily the best fighters that sell fights. Like Connor's never been the best fighter in the UFC, I wouldn't say. Has he ever been number 1 pound for pound?
Yes.
Has he?
When he
So
got
there's
the
been
double champ.
Right. Okay. So there's been a very slim amount of time that he was number one pound for pound in the UFC, and he's still been the biggest seller in the UFC pretty much his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily the best that sell. It's the biggest names and the biggest pains in the ass.
Right.
I don't think Francis and John are that right now.
But that's it for this week. We'll catch you guys sometime next week. Who knows? But until then, see you guys. Peace.